I see and perceive and experience the world, the creation, in the mirror of the eye and vice versa. So if and when we are clear that the world, the creation, creatures, what feels like causes are actually being created together with the so-called effects. Actually, it is through our witnessing. That's why witnessing and shahada is so important. Through our witnessing of the activities in the creation, that we get to know who God is. So who is Allah? Who is God, is central, and that's why all the pillars of Iman, actually, they are making clearer who Allah is. They all complement each other and reinforce the main pillar, which is to know God. And so when we say, who is Allah? How do I know Him? I do not know Him theoretically. I cannot know God theoretically. He is already beyond our perception. How can I just know about Him is different. But if we are going to follow the teachings of the Quran, in order to know God, we need to perform and exercise the shahada. I need to witness and experience how the creation, the so-called causes and effects, are ayat, are signs pointing and indicating the beautiful names of God and making Him known. That's how I get to know God. So then, after this process, I do not and cannot ask the question, so if God is a Razaq, the provider, why do I need to eat then? It's because through my eating, I understood He is the provider. There is no other way I know He's the provider. But if I say Allah is the provider, why do I need to eat then? He's not all-powerful then. Can you see where the false reasoning is coming from? Because we are making assumptions, and those assumptions will lead to contradictions because we never verified any of them. So the world and myself, because I'm part of the world. And so myself is, for instance, I say I am compassionate. I look at something very sad and I say, how come God, where are you? Aren't you like all compassionate and all powerful? Why is this happening? Then I start questioning divine compassion. The start is already wrong because it's not my compassion. And that's why it leads to false questions. They're not based on facts in the world, in the creation. But if I go back and find, if I'm used to observing the facts and witnessing how those facts, the order, the cause and effects are all pointing to a source beyond, then when I find compassion in myself that comes right after me witnessing something very sad, then I stop. Something sad happens, suddenly I'm filled with compassion. I'm filled with the urge to help. There is a need in me. Where is this coming from? Whoever is creating me now, if I've already become familiar with my Rabb as my creator here and now, then I will witness again, I will see, observe His compassion coming through me. He is urging me to do something about it. When I can't do something about it, to pray for. So with this awareness, can I now accuse God of not being compassionate, for instance? Because anything, any traces of compassion I find in myself or in the world, I trace them back to Him anyways. So all my questions will change. Just to keep this in mind when we are articulating our questions. So we always go back, what are the assumptions underneath? Because sometimes the question itself is false. It's based on something that is not true. That's why it doesn't lead us anywhere.